Tech Savvy Camp. Today, we'll start a new session about interactive tool. We will be using the Wakelet and the Padlet. Super easy, super practical, and super fun. So let me just check my setting a few minutes and then we'll get started. Meanwhile, you go to the class app, okay, classpoint.app, and you have the pin code. So I repeat, we'll be using the classpoint.app as usual. And you insert your pin code 45327. I repeat, 45327. Very good. I have already 4 people who managed to join. Great. So, as I said, today we will focus on the Padlet, which is a collaborative board, and the Wakelet similarly. It is the same, but there are different specific features for each one of them. So I'll start with a simple question. How do you maintain interactivity in your class? Do you think it is easy to involve all types of learners in the same activity? Yes, no, let's just try to share our thoughts, our attitudes. So I have allocated 1 minute for this question. I used to have a few seconds. Okay, so I repeat, you go to classpoint.app. I already copy pasted that in the chat box and you insert the pin code 45327. I read again the question. How do you maintain interactivity in your class? How to encourage students to interact with each other, to participate? Do you think it is easy to involve all types of learners? So let's try to share our thoughts about this topic. So a few seconds as usual. Take your time. So how to attract them, how to take, if you want, a way to get rid of the distraction, how to make them focus, stimulated by the subject, the topic. So a few seconds. I have already one attendee who answered. Good. You can take a look at the responses in here. Great, very good. Group work, yes. Any other extra idea? Write down anything that comes to your mind. How to encourage them to be motivated, to participate in your class. How do you usually do that? Very good. Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree. It's not really easy. It's very exhausting. Yeah. Group work, pair work, motivating. Yes. Yes, very good. Thank you for your feedback. Great work. Okay. As usual, you can log off from the ClassPoint app and you follow me on the Microsoft Teams so that you have a steady network, okay? So I start with my favorite, which is the Wakelet. Let me know if the screen is not shared, if there are glitches on the voice, anything, please try to hit on the chat button and write any comment or interrupt so that I am aware about that, okay? So the Wakelet is a digital curation platform that lets teachers and students organize a mix of content for easy access. This, of course, means it's a broad platform that can be used in many ways, making it a creative way to be engaging with students. Okay, next slide. It offers a way to collect online resources in one place called a wake. These wakes can then be shared with a link to be accessed online easily by anyone. Teachers can create wakes as a way to pool resources, let's say on a certain topic that you are teaching, allowing students to explore the various information ahead of a lesson. Crucially, this is an open platform. It means that students can go off and explore wakes created by others. They can like, they can copy, etc. So there is an interactivity in using the Wakelet platform. Wakelet works with lots of education technology platforms, including Microsoft Teams, OneNote, Buncee, Flipgrid, and plenty more. This makes it very easy to integrate and work across resources. Wakelet can be used by collective group or individually. You will see later on in the practice. You can invite collaborators to work with you, your fellow teachers, etc. Or you can work on your own. It depends on your preferences. It not only works as a digital platform, but also lets you export to PDF. Sometimes you can export a complete collection to PDF so that you can use it in your classes, especially when it has articles, especially from the newspapers, something written that comes handy for the students. So you can print and use it as a physical classroom resource too. Since it works well as a way to make infographic style outputs, it can be ideal for in-class media. Wakelet is super simple to use. From pulling in a web page to adding a video, it's all straightforward. You and your students can curate videos, images, links, and more. You will see later in the practice how you can simply drag and drop, or you can copy paste links. So it's very super easy and super practical, even for younger students. So do not worry about that. So, and inspiring, Wakelet could be beneficial because it allows users to curate customizable content. It's also a great tool for keeping research projects interactive and social. Sometimes by the end of the semester, we assign projects to our students. So Wakelet is a very useful and effective tool in which they can prepare their projects individually or in teams, as they prefer. Wikis can be shared either publicly or privately. We will see in the preferences, the setting preferences later, so you can work on them to change the privacy. For example, if you want it to be public, it depends on your goal and the use of your collection. This allows students to share with one another without their work being exposed if they want creative privacy. Since Wakelet is geared for curation and sharing, it's versatile enough to use for instructional design, research, story-based learning, and collaboration. Pair it with Flipgrid or Screencastify to design a lesson that lets the students interact with content instead of just hearing a lecture or set of instructions. Use it for research. For example, students can save links to content related to a topic, related to a module you are covering in the class, taking notes, and upload videos from YouTube or Google Drive. Or use it to tell a story. This is very important also. It's a new type of digital storytelling. So it appeals to all types of learners and all ages. Collect content from all over the web to tell a story about a current or historical event. And have students share collections with their peers and upvote their favorite resources. Okay, I move to the Padlet, which is very, very similar to the Wakelet, but there are certain different features. We will come across them later on, one by one. So let's start with what is a Padlet. So the Padlet, similarly, it's a platform in which you can create a single or multiple walls. So simply, it is a collaborative wall in which everyone can interact with everyone else that are able to house all the posts you want to share, from videos and images to documents and audio. It is literally like a blank slate, as if we are using a blank slate digitally. So it's a collaborative tool allowing you to involve students, other teachers. You can work in collaboration with your colleagues, fellow teachers, or even parents and guardians. Sharing options like the Wakelet, so they are up to the teacher as moderator. You can put all your Padlet simply is public. Anyone can see it, can have access to that. Or you can place a password on the wall. It is private Padlet. Only people who have access to the password can check it. Okay. Or you can only allow invited members to use the wall, which is a secret setting. So here only people invited, they need an invitation link, okay, to access the Padlet. So it depends on the age of your students, the objectives of your lesson, etc. Which is the ideal setup for education. Share the link after you finish your Padlet and anyone invited can enter easily. Once up and running, it's possible to post an update with your identity. So now I am in the class or I am teaching remotely. And students at home can have instant, immediate access to the Padlet, and they have instant feedback or instant assignment from the teacher. So this is super practical and super effective. And anonymously, all the students at the same time can share, can answer back the teacher's questions without posting their names. So this is very important, especially for students who are shy, who are inhibited, who are not very good in the class. So I think here we get rid, if you want, of the uncomfortable atmosphere environment in the class. So start off by creating an account on Padlet, which is very easy. We will see how you create a free account, or via the iOS or Android app. Then you can make your first board to share using a link or QR code. A lot of educational platforms today use the QR code, which is very time-saving, to name just two of the many sharing options. So let's move to the posting. Now you finished your Padlet, you want to post it, okay? So to get posting, what you want to share on the wall, you just need to double click anywhere or simply drag and drop. So very easy. So either double click or drag and drop. So double click anywhere on the board, then you can drag files, paste files, or even use the save as bookmark with Padlet Mini, especially on your smartphone devices. Or simply click the plus icon, we will see that later in the practical part, in the lower right corner and add that way. This can be what you can share, what you can post. Images, videos, audio files, Jiffy, links, documents, depends. There is a versatile choice here. So, from a brainstorming board to a live questions bank, there are lots of ways to use Padlet, limited only by your imagination. Even that limit can be overcome by allowing the board to be collaborative, so your students can use their imaginations to grow it into new directions. Once you're ready, you can hit publish and the Padlet will be all set to share. Everyone can have access to it, teachers, students. You can also integrate it with apps such as Google Classroom and many LMS options too. So this is very important for both platforms. I mean for the Padlet or the Wakelet, you can embed, we will see later, you have an embed button by which you can embed it into a website. If you have a school website, if you have a blog, so it's very easy, super easy and super practical to embed it. So you have the complete collection, the whole complete wall, either the Padlet or the Wakelet, I mean, embedded in your blog. So this is, I think, very, very exciting feature too. Okay, I will focus on the Padlet since it is the easiest one if you want to tell the truth, especially for kids. So these are some creative ways how to use Padlet in our class today. So I've sorted out 10 ways, the easiest and the most used one in our EFL classes. So I'll start with the first one. You can use it for brainstorming on a topic, statement, project, or idea. You simply start, I mean the teacher, by giving a statement students have to discuss, okay, or a project about which students have to brainstorm. Share the board and let students share their ideas and comments, either synchronously or asynchronously. It depends on how you use it on your flipped class, hybrid learning, it depends, okay? So this way, every student can see what the others think. You can discuss a few of the given answers with the whole class. You have a class debate, starting with the Padlet. This also reduces distraction and useless chatting time spent in normal class. So everyone is busy, everyone is focusing, is trying to brainstorm the idea. So I think it reduces a lot of noise that we use to have in our classes. The second use, the creative use, simply as an icebreaker. So guess what? No more sheets of paper divided between students or waste of time preparing questions and class sitting management. Padlet is a great tool to break the ice with your students and unleash their creativity. They can post selfies and write their likes and dislikes. This is very, very important, especially in Tunisia. We are really exhausted and struggling with that, how to come up with a creative idea at the beginning of the school year, how to get introduced to our students, etc. So I think simply they have their devices on them. I think the complete class, if not even in small groups, break them down into small groups. So I think it's a great idea, an exciting way. They are a digital learner. They are fancy of these platforms. So simply they take a selfie and they write what do they like, they dislike, and they discuss with each other, okay? And they get acquainted to each other without writing these boring paragraphs at the beginning of the school year. So I think I will try to use it this year for as an icebreaker, and I will try to focus on that. I think it's very exciting. So this is very important, especially for visual learners who get bored easily with writing long sentences. So many students get very bored. They are not really excited. They are not enthusiastic about writing. So I think this is very useful for them. Okay. The third use, you can use it for online student portfolio. I used to have this. I have experimented with that last year with my third graders art. It was fantastic, wonderful. Wow, very creative. I have a lot of low achievers. They get very excited simply by using a portfolio, telling me their secrets, especially that other students cannot really read their names. So there is this anonymous feature if you want. So they feel very, very encouraged to tell me a lot of their private life. How do they spend their day, their hobbies, etc. So I think it's very fascinating to try to instill this habit, if you want, of writing a digital portfolio. So you can use it, as I said, as a portfolio. Create boards for every student and let them post assignments, articles, projects, or simply anything they want to talk about. It doesn't really necessarily need to be that. No, if you have a class of very low achievers, a class of very inhibited students, so the floor is yours to unleash your creativity. Try to use it the way that you feel it fits your students' abilities. So as a teacher, you can comment on each one, give encouragement, meaningful feedback, so they step out of their comfort zone. So whenever a student finds something helpful for his portfolio, he just has to save it on his portfolio Padlet board. No more editing or printing articles. So simply using a device, and that's it. Okay, the fourth creative use is for communication in your class. So students, instead of having this oral, if you want, conversation all the time, some of them are inhibited, some of them do not really have a good accent, they feel ashamed in front of their peers. So why not encourage them to write as a first step? Of course, speaking is a very, very important skill, but let's start with this. So students can discuss their daily homework, help each other by writing posts on their shared Padlet wall. The teacher's role here is only to provide feedback, so he doesn't really need to intervene too much, give them the floor, okay, to just try to express themselves freely, okay? If they need clarification, guidance, of course, he will intervene to provide help. So this is highly effective in boosting self-esteem and makes students take part in their learning process. As I said, especially when we have a class who is struggling, they have some learning disabilities, there are inhibited students. So I think writing their answers, expressing their opinions, how do they feel, attitudes anonymously in the Padlet, I think this is a great feature. It's very, very exciting for them. So also, feeling responsible for one's learning adds more seriousness and commitment to the whole class. If the student feels very serious, other peers are reading carefully what he is writing, so I think he will start to be more serious, and if you want, he stops to become reckless or distracted in the lesson. Okay, the fifth use, which is especially for younger students or arts classes, if you are teaching arts classes, to complete a story. So this is very funny, especially we will see later different formats of the Padlet. My favorite one is the grid and the wall. So I think the grid and the wall format are super suitable for this activity. So what it does, it depends on what it simply means creating a story, asking students how it should continue. It means to imagine, okay, an ending into the story. So we are encouraging their critical thinking, their creativity. So younger students are highly motivated by this activity, in which they can interact with each other, share ideas, and suggest different story endings, either individually or in groups. And what really matters here is that the interaction, because students will read each other's new ending to the story, and they can comment on each other. I like it, I do not like it, etc. So they provide feedback. So here, as I said earlier, they feel responsible. You are giving them tools to discuss, to evaluate each other. So they step out of their position as a student and they become as the teacher. They are evaluating, assessing each other's work. So I think this is also very, very important in our class today. Okay, the sixth use is writing process. Sometimes we struggle, students are bored to write, especially when assigned that as a homework or at the beginning of the lesson, in the middle. So I think using the Padlet, taking out their smartphone, working on that will be, wow, super exciting. They are using technology. So I think they are all the time 24/24 on their smartphone. So when using that, it becomes a natural habit. So I think I do recommend that you really try to use from time to time the writing process on the Padlet. You have them, they have their smartphones. As I said before, if you have some shortage in the class, you can just divide them into smaller groups and so on. So let your students jot down ideas related to a certain topic covered in the class. Even inhabited ones who take part in the activity, especially that their names are kept anonymous. This is very, very important, as I said before. So students can later correct each other. So this is also very important in the writing process. So one of the most important steps is the peer correction. So simply it can be used via the Padlet by providing comments under each work in the Padlet. And the teacher here also can step in and can intervene by correcting the mistakes, etc. As I said, it depends on the objective, the goal of your lesson in general. The seventh use is as a mind mapping. We can use the Padlet as a mind mapping. So thanks to Padlet features, the teacher can choose the shelf or wall format in which students interact by providing related ideas to a theme chosen by their teacher. This is very useful in retaining information in an innovative and fun way. So it could be just recycling some lexical items they had already covered in the class, some topics about health, about pollution. So I think just using technology in the class will be very motivating for them, and they will learn the information better. Believe me in that. Okay, I move to number 8, the live question bank. So let your students ask questions during the lesson. It's very handy when students don't understand something or need a better explanation. Stop your lesson 10 minutes early and go over the questions. So this way, students who are afraid to ask questions can still ask their question anonymously in the Padlet. So they are not afraid to raise their hands, to participate, to take role, to speak. So they will participate, but anonymously. So this is also very encouraging for the whole class. So it gives a voice to every student in the room, even to the shy ones. Okay, the ninth usage for prior knowledge. Try to figure out what students already know about the topic you're about to teach. Padlet is a great way to tap on their schemata and know how much do they know about the topic of the lesson. Simply, you can post an image, a jiffy, and they start a discussion about that topic that they will cover later. So I think this is also very effective. and it is time saving instead of having the worksheets, etc. So students just post their knowledge on Padlet, so you can see how to build your lesson and how much do they know about this topic you are about to teach. Last but not least, we can use it for book discussions. And specifically for art session, if you have third graders art, fourth graders art, and even for younger learner, seventh, eighth, I think it's very convenient for them. So when reading books or short stories, especially for arts classes or younger learners, it's fun to create a discussion about the characters, settings, plot, climax, and all the elements of the story. They can even choose another ending to the story or prepare short videos evaluating the reading to share it on their Padlet wall. They can even enact dialogues on their phone and upload the video on the Padlet, which will be very, very funny. So we have a lot of creativity here that we can encourage them to have. So comments and feedbacks from the rest of the class is highly recommended to build a more positive learning environment in which every student feels that he or she matters. Okay, we finished with the theoretical part. I will give you a few seconds to hit the chat box if you have any questions, and then I will take you to dive deeply into the sites. So I will wait for a few seconds. If you have any questions, anything to clarify about, the floor is yours. Yes. Miss Anna, I activated your mic if they have any problems. If it is okay, so let's move to the practical part. So as I said, you can hit the chat button if you have any questions to ask. Okay, Miss Manel is raising her hand. I activated your mic, Miss Manel. Go ahead, the floor is yours. Yes, Miss Manel, you can activate your mic, yes. Miss Manel.
Is it okay?
Hi, yes.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to talk about the writing process, and I suggest that there is an extra method also that we can be dealt with, which is finish the story. I suggest that you just give them, the pupils, the beginning of the story and let them finish it by themselves. This develops their imagination and boosts their creativity.
Yes, Miss Manel.
No?
Yes.
Yes, and maybe to come out with a moral, if the story, as far as moral stories are concerned.
Wonderful suggestion. Yes, I totally agree. Wonderful suggestion. Why not?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you to your remark. Yes, thank you. Great, efficient feedback.
Thank you for
Anyone else? Yes, thank you, Miss Manel.
Thank you for yours.
Thank you. Yes, anyone else who would like to, yes, to give feedback? Let me check someone else who is raising his hand. I think a few seconds ago, I saw someone raising his hand. I don't know who is it. So anyway, I repeat, if you have any questions, any clarification, just you write on the chat box or you activate your mic. You raise your hand and I will activate your mic, okay? So waiting for your feedback that are very valuable indeed. Thank you. Okay, so let's get started with the practical part, which is the most, I think, interesting and important in the lesson. Okay, I will start with the Padlet because it's great, but it's more complicated than the Padlet. I will keep the Padlet for the second part. It's not very difficult, but it has a lot of more various options if you want. Okay, so I will start by showing you the homepage. Of course, you will go to padlet.com. Just a minute. So you go to Wakelet, sorry, we will start with the Wakelet. Let me log out from here, just a minute. So usually if you go to the wakelet.com, you have the homepage. So here we have the homepage. And from the homepage on the top of your here, okay, on the top, you have a variety of options. Okay, we will show them each one, okay? So these are the different products. You have Wakelet for Education, School District, which is fee paying for a bunch of teachers, not for individual use, the apps, etc., the browser extension. The program, I encourage you to take a look on that later on. Training, very useful. You choose one of them. They have certificate, they have quizzes, they have lessons. So try to deep dive later on that. Enter code. If you have a code from a teacher, it means from an educator or from your teacher, okay, to join a collection. We will see later how to send codes, how to invite collaborators, or simply log in or sign up. And similarly, you will be asked to choose how you would like to connect to Wakelet. You have with the Apple, Google, Office 365, the Facebook, or even Clever. For me personally, I have a Google account. So I click on that and I have a double authentication on my smartphone, and then I am on my homepage. So this is my homepage. Here you have different collections that I have. You can categorize them, organize them according to different files, which are called collections, okay, sections. You can organize them into sections. I will show you, for example, click on here. This is an example of a Wakelet prepared by my students. So you can have videos, you can have pictures, GIFs, external links to newspaper articles. So it depends. Okay. So I come back to the home page. I come back again to the top. Okay. Explore. The first step that I encourage you to do before creating your first collection is to explore. So I click on the button and I have the popular collections, popular topics on the Wakelet. Either I just scroll up and down and choose one of them to read it to, for example, here, if I choose this one, what options do you have? I can like this collection I choose. Let's say I put a heart on it. I can save it to my bookmarks. I can come back to that later and read it on my own pace. I can share it. I click the share button and I have a variety how to share it. Okay, simply by copying the link or using the QR code embedded in a website, in a blog, send it via Teams, Classroom, Facebook, even Twitter, Remind, etc. So the choice is yours. I can export it as PDF if, for example, I need it to hand out for my students in the class, if it is very useful, if it has newspaper articles, written text. Okay, so I come back to the Explore. Let's say I am looking for something specific. So I go to the search button on here. I click and I write, for example, I am searching for EFL resources. That helps me in my class. I can have two options, either looking by collections, which is more suitable, or looking by people, means educators who are writing about this topic. For now, let me keep the collection, okay? So, and you have the number of items in each collection, and you have the name of the educator who created that collection. For example, I click on that, Stories for Teens. I have here EFL teaching resources, flashcard resources if you are teaching youngsters. So let's click on that and check together. And they start. So here you have PDF, short stories. I can click on that. And I have the option of read it fully. So you see there are external links that are inserted into the collection, into the Wakelet. Okay, let's come back to the Explore. If I want to have, before I forget, let's say, come back to this one. I will save it to my bookmarks. So EFL resources, and I would like to save it. Where is it? Let's say I like this collection, and I will read it carefully. I will try to check what I need in that. So I save it to my bookmark, so I don't waste time searching again for that. Just click on the bookmark, and I go to my homepage, and it is already on the left corner here in my bookmarks. I click on that. You see, I have already a lot of collections. Yeah, here. I can delete the bookmark. I don't need it. I don't delete the collection. It's not mine to delete it, okay? I can edit. I can share it with someone else, etc. I can put it in a specific collection because I have different collections. I have 29 collections here. So it depends. Here you have the view mode. I want to change it. How do I view my Wakelet? It depends on your preferences, of course. Okay, so another feature in the Wakelet is that you can import your classroom. This is very important, especially if you are having a Google Classroom account, and I recommend that you use that. It's very easy, very practical, and it is very fast. It doesn't take no more than few seconds. I click on that, and I have my classroom in here. On the left, I click on that, okay? I don't have any collection, but I have the names of my students in here. I can add, I can edit. Let's say I would like to edit my classroom to synchronize the students' names list. And I discovered that there are specific features that have been disabled for students. These are new features. So I will do them with you to this moment, because I didn't do that before. So they can use YouTube because the students were not able to use that, only teachers. They can use Twitter. They can use the videos, Unsplash, and the GP. And of course, make sure to update your classroom so that your students have access to these new features. So I have updated my classroom. And now I come back to my home page. This is your profile. You can change your image. You can edit. You can write your personal information. You can add your social media, your social handles, as many as you want to. And you can organize your collections. For example, here in the first collection, I have, in the first section, I have a collection of 8 items. In my second section, I have a collection of 3 items, which means 3 collections, sorry, or 6. So you can organize them so it is more practical, and it comes in handy when someone else from your colleagues shared or preview your Wakelet. So it will be easy for them to access your Wakelet, to check where they should exactly go. Okay. So I come back here to the home. You have the 3 dots. You want to see how your public profile looks like for other people. I will talk later about the spaces. The spaces simply here, it means you go to the plus button in here. If my collections are taking storage, too much storage. So I click on that and I create a new space. I name it, I give it a name. I can send a code to a colleague to help me in that space. I can change the setting to be private or public for everyone. Public, for example, private only for my classes, only for my colleagues. No one else can have a glimpse of that. So you are free. You have a variety of options. So the space, you go here to the plus button and you create a new space. And you can send a code to a colleague to collaborate with you in the space. For now, I will talk only about your Wakelet. After all, when it is very overcrowded, you can create the space. So you go to the plus button and you follow the steps. Okay, let's say we would like to create a new collection together. I will start with the plus button here. I must choose the title for my collection. Let's say training session, live session. I should provide a description for my collection so that everyone else has a specific detail about the topic. As usual, you have the Google Immersive Reader. We saw that yesterday, so it's very exciting, very useful, especially for your kids, okay, at school. Okay, I go to the left. I want to change the setting, okay, the theme of my Wakelet. So I click on the circle button here of the setting. Either I would like to copy the collection, to move it somewhere else, okay, to delete it. And if I want other people to be able to copy, I am free to choose here if they are able to copy or I wanted to keep it personal. I go here to the Padlet icon. I click on that and he asking me first about the layout. Do I want it to be media? Okay, you will see that later when the Padlet is fully finished, approximately finished, because now it's empty, you can't really see. So I will leave that later on when we upload something on the Padlet, okay? On the Wakelet, sorry. Also, you can choose a cover image. I click on that and I have here many options. Upload an image from my desktop, from my device. Choose from Jiffy or from library. I will show you the Jiffy, for example, in here. You type your search and you check if it is found. Let's write something simpler. I say success and let me check. What can I have? Let me check this one because of the network. I can't see what Jiffy do I have. So this is the Jiffy. Usually it works, but because of the unsteady network. So I will choose from the library. Try to type any word that comes to my mind. Okay, why not? I will try to choose this one. And everything is set in motion. So I come back here to the Padlet icon. I've changed my cover. He asked me if I wanted to be full or half, means smaller, so it depends, okay, on the educator's choices. Now I would like to choose a background image. I click on that, similarly from my device, my desktop, or choose from the library. Let's say I want it from the library because I don't have anything ready now. I will type simply education and check out where it comes. Okay. I will choose this one and let me check the final look of my homepage of my Wakelet. So it takes a few minutes and I have it. Everything is set in place. I go to the top on my right. If I want to change the setting of my collection, I click on that. You see, it is sealed, so it means it is private. It is still private. If I want my collection private or public, I click on here and I have unlisted. It means like secret. You just share it with a few people who have access to a code that you send a code to them. Okay, public, anyone can access it. Private, similarly, they need a link or a code. So you have three options. Okay, let's say I want it public. I can copy the link with anyone via a variety of choices, similarly. I can invite collaborators. It means here people who have access as collaborators can delete, edit, add. They have, if you want, they are moderators. Simply, they are moderator in your Wakelet. However, for your students, you share only the link so that they comment, etc. If you want them to do is, for example, it's a project work or formative assessment, or I don't know, if you want them to have more freedom, so you change the setting, okay? So here you invite collaborators. Similarly, you copy the link or you send it via different options. You can use the email or the name of the person and you invite. He will have an invitation link via his email. Okay, I come back now to the bottom of my page. Now I am trying to paste different links. Let me show you first. I will start with this. In the apps, here you can insert different apps. I click on that. You can use tweets, YouTube, your Google Drive, OneDrive, Creative Cloud, Express. Let's say I'd like to have a tweet. So I click on that. I click on here and I search. Okay, let's try to type something. Oh, if it is. So normally you will have, okay, different tweets. And I read. I will check for something specific because it's very general when you type training. So don't think that. Okay, you search by user, okay, or by items. So it depends on what you would like to have. Let's say, for example, I would like to add this one randomly. So I click on the plus icon and I add the tweet to my collection. So a few minutes, a few seconds, and I have it on here. You see, so it's very attractive. You can read it. And of course, it will open in another browser. Okay, the second option is the tube, the same. So you type what you are searching for. Okay, if you have any document on your Google Drive. You can also upload a PDF if you have it on your desktop. Bookmark. I need one of my bookmarks. For example, this one, I need it for my training session. I click on that and it is done. So here I click and I am taken to another browser. Okay. I come back to here. You can add an image or simply you can add text. I will show you. So let's say provide your feedback about the session. So I finished writing. I select all of my writing. Okay. I can change the format, the font, the shape, it depends. I can insert a link if I want to be inserted to a hyperlink. So I can have copy paste an external link. I have it centered. Let's say I want it like this. And I have my question, if you want, my subject, my topic at the beginning of the collection. I come back here to this blank space in the green. Okay, let's say I go to directly to my Twitter account and I am looking for something to insert. So let me check something about education. Let's say I need this one. Okay, so I copy paste the link. I come back here. So, and my tweet is already set. You see? So very super easy, super practical. You click and you come back. So either you search on the tweets, if you have specific topics on your Twitter account, so that's okay. It's better and more practical. You go and you copy paste. Similarly, if you have any video in your YouTube channel, you go there and you copy and paste. Let's say I need an article for my educators, fellow educators, or just students. It depends on the use of your collection. Let's say I need articles from the Independent, okay? I will choose randomly just to show you how does it work. So I go to the travel, for example, part, and I need this part. I copy, paste, okay? I copy from here, and I paste directly the link in the space, and I have my news article. There is a very exciting feature. If you go to the top on the right, I have here the pen icon. I can edit if I want to change the whole title. So guess what? Read it. For example, you choose an exciting caption for your students, for your trainees to follow you, and it's done. So I think it's very, very useful, this pen icon. You can change the title either for the video or anything that you copy paste. You are free to choose the title. I can even change the image here. So I think versatile options. I come to the three dots. I can move it. Let's say I would like to move it to the top, up, down. I want it to be, for example, where is it? And it has changed, you see, it becomes at the bottom of my page. So a variety of options in here. Okay, let's say now I want to have, let me check. We saw the tweets, YouTube, Google Drive. If I want to import, let me check. Of course, you should log on to your Google account, to your Google Drive, sorry. Let's say I need this one. I select a file, for example, and it is on my collection. Similarly, I can change the title. I can edit the image if I want to, upload it, choose from the Jiffy. Let's say I would like to upload it from my device. Okay. So I go to my device. And I choose, for example, a picture, and I click on Save button. And everything is set in motion. My work is done. You see? So I think it's super easy. Try to give it a try later on when you're free. Okay, even in a few days, and to check, of course, you will have some difficulties at the beginning, but practice makes perfect. Everything will be easy and clear for you. So I think it's a very useful platform for curating content. Let's say I want to share it now with you so that you add, okay? So I would like to invite collaborators. I want you to collaborate. Where is it? So I copy the link. And I will send it via the chat box. So if you are able, please, to join the collection and try to check if you are able to write, to copy paste links, just to write anything so that we can see it, we visualize it together. Meanwhile, let me check something else. On the top, on the left here, you have a new look for the Wakelet. I didn't try it personally, to tell the truth. Let's do it together. So I click on that. And I have the beta version. Okay, this is a new beta version. It's upgraded these few months. I discovered that recently. So the same feature, the same presentation, not really a big deal. It's not really very different from the traditional one. Just the icon, the Padlet, is replaced with this brush. Okay, click on here and you have. Okay, so I come back to the classical, traditional, easier mode. And I will come back here to the setting. The layout, the design, I mean. Let's try to see how does it look when I click on the compact. So you see, here only I have the content as titles and description. The first one, media, it displays visual and interactive content within the collection. The second one, compact, only you have the content as titles. Okay, so it's not really very attractive. I move to the grid view. So they are smaller. I still have visualizing the content, the interactive content, so that's okay for me. I move to the mood board. It's like a wall here. You can change the positions, etc. You click on this bar and you can move. I want this one at the last, etc. It depends on what you are having in mind. I click on the last one and I have it column. This is very important. Here I should write the name of the column. It means the title. Let's say here you are having, for example, a writing process session, and you would like your students to start with introduction. So each student knows exactly where to write. The second part I need, for example, the argument number 1, for example. I add another column, argument number 2, and so on, so forth, as much as you want. Let's say I want a conclusion for my topic. So each student will be guided, okay, precisely, accurately where to write his introduction. So let's say I'm a student, I click on the plus and I write, people need to travel for many reasons. So as a student, I finished my, let's say, my introduction. Okay, I would like to insert an image to my introduction too. I would like to insert PDF, anything else. I want to tweet about holidays. Okay, I have a variety of options. So let's say I'd like to have from the library and I'm looking for holidays. Let's check the library. Okay. So after I finish, check. Of course, sorry, I forget to hit the done button. I can also change the format of my text. And I have my definition, okay, my introduction, sorry, with a picture. So each student will write an attractive part of his writing article, paragraph, it depends, in this Wakelet collection. So I hope it was understood. So waiting for you, if you would like, I will change just here the layout. If you can share anything, I come back to the media. So let me know. I'll check here. So I repeat, you have already the invite code. Just try to click on that and try to figure out if you are able to post anything for me. Okay. So this is mine. Very good. I have already someone here who added. Yes, wonderful. Thank you for your feedback. Great. So you see, I can like. I click on that. I can write his post. Okay. And so on and so forth. So I think it's very exciting, very interactive indeed. We do need that in our classes. Try to revolutionize the ways we are teaching, because students of today are very, very different of students of yesterday. So I think this is their arena, their space. They are very, very good at that. We are trying to keep up, of course. So I think that's it for the Wakelet. Let me know if you have any questions. Now I will come back to the Padlet. I hope I didn't forget anything about it. So I will close all bars from here. And I come back to the Padlet. So this is the homepage. As I said, I'm waiting for your feedback about the Wakelet if you have any questions. Otherwise, we'll proceed. So similarly, the Padlet is an interactive collaborative wall, which is also very useful as icebreaker, formative assessment, brainstorming. It depends on your objective and what you have in mind. I will first change the language. I come to the bottom of my page. I want it to be in English so that I understand better. And I have, this is the homepage. I go to padlet.com. Okay. So in the first page, what do you have? You have different types, like the Wakelet. Padlet provides different layout. Okay, different types of layout. You have the wall. This is how does it look. Okay, the canvas, the shelf, like the columns in the Wakelet, very, very similar. If I am writing, working on writing, if I am working on different stories assigned to students, if I am working on different short texts about different jumbled reading text, for example, about holidays. Each one is different. Okay, so this is very useful. If I want it to be a stream, just one layout under each other. If I want it to be a grid, if I want it to be a timeline, for example, revision of historical events about the civil rights movement. For science, it's not only used for English language. So for science, for example, the development of animals, etc., the cycle, or simply you can use it as map, geographical locations. You pinpoint different locations. I used that last year with my fourth graders when we taught the lesson of holidays and festivals. So they pinpoint different festivals, okay, on different countries, in Japan, in Brazil, etc. So I think it's very fun and very interactive. Okay, let's say I would like to log in. So I click on that. Similar, you will have different options to log in with Google, to log in with Microsoft, log in with Apple. Usually I have to log in with Google, but I will show you. I can't have any access to Padlet because Padlet, the free account, you can enjoy only 3 Padlet. Of course, you can cheat later. You can clone some Padlet, but only the maximum is 3. So you see here, I cloned the 2, the remaining 2. So I have 5. So I can't. If I click on make, he told me, okay, to go and upgrade. I am Neon. I have only 3 Padlets, which is for free. 5 Padlets made over limit because I cloned them. The storage is 20 megabytes. If I need to upgrade, I should have either the gold, okay, which has only 20 Padlets, 100 megabytes, or you can go platinum, which is unlimited. So if you want to choose, or otherwise, as I said, as I used to have to do. So you have the Padlets. I will show you later how to clone. Okay, it's like having another Padlet. You clone it. And after that, if you need to just delete and have 3 new Padlets, okay? These are my archived. I don't have because they are automatically deleted. I will show you my shared Padlet, shared with other teachers, with other students. It depends. For example, here I used that with my students, third graders, arts, for example. It's a class debate about family matters. So they jot down anything that comes to their minds, description of their family relationships, etc. So they are free. And it was amazing work. And you see here, for example, you can provide feedback, correct mistakes. As I said, you can turn on or off the names, so you do not really have names. It was a formative assessment, so I asked them to write their names, for example, here, and the class to check. So this is an example about how you can use the Padlet. I will show you another Padlet. Here, for example, you see we have different columns. We have different schools. It was an international project. So each school writes under the suitable column their work, their choices. So as I said, so here I can't make a Padlet. You can join a Padlet if you have a code, an invitation code from other colleagues. You can go to the gallery to check. And the gallery is very, very practical because on the top here, on your left, you have the types of Padlets you want to see. Either I choose to see them all, or by the layout. I want to check only the wall layout. Okay. I click on that, for example, and I can have a glimpse of my Padlet in here. This is the stream format. I click on that, and I have a variety of stream formats. Okay. The grid, the shell, the map. Let me show you one of the maps. How does it look exactly? So you have your map here. And you have different locations. This one, for example, is about restaurants on the map. click on that. And I have, for example, the name of the restaurant and the country, you see. I can zoom in, zoom out, it depends on what you want to have. I think it's very exciting. Okay, so now let's create our own Padlet. First of all, I will log out because I can't from this account create anything. And I will log in, sign in with my Microsoft account. We'll do that together. So first I log out from the Google account. Okay. I will go again to padlet.com. And I will try, okay, to sign up with my Microsoft, yes. So I did it for the first time now with you, and let's check how do you, what do you exactly see step by step in your Padlet, okay? So it will be easy and practical for everyone who would like to follow the steps later on. So he will ask you about to connect with your Microsoft account, your password, etc. So you do not really need to create an account, just you sign up with your Google or Microsoft or anything that you normally use in your everyday life. So, okay, now we will be in the home page of the Padlet. We have the gallery, the different features, and I will be asked similarly, okay, to make a Padlet. Sorry. When you are deleting a Padlet, you will be asked to provide the code. Here it is the code. Do not do like I did. So you have already provided code and you delete. So I will make a Padlet. I click here. And of course, I will start from the scratch. I have a variety of options to choose my layout. Let's say I want to have a wall. I click on wall and my Padlet will be ready in a few seconds. I have the ability to change the title, to change the theme, the background, the colors, the setting, etc. So add your personal touch by changing how it looks. Let's say I wanted to introduce yourself, let's say. Okay. Description. Teachers introducing this. You can change the icon here, which is very exciting feature, or you can keep it. Let's say, I don't know, what do we have here? So I think it will be very exciting to use that with your students. Let's say I choose this one. If you don't, so you turn on. If I don't need any icon, I turn it on, okay? This is the address that you will later copy, paste, if you need it for invitation to invite someone. The appearance here, the wallpaper, he will take me to a variety of options. I will show you each one aside. The solid colors from which you can choose. Gradient colors, have also many options. Textures and patterns. Pictures. Let's say I'd like to choose this one. Everything is set. I finished. If you want to have your own wallpaper, of course, you will upload it, okay, from your desktop. You can choose here, or you can paste a link from the web. You take a photo, you can draw. You have a variety of options. The drawing option, I think it's you. I didn't see it before. So I come back here. You can change the color scheme. Okay, you can change the font. Okay, this is very important when using Padlet in your classes. The attribution. Do I want to display the name of my students? When you are using that for formative assessment, I do encourage you to turn it on. If you want to keep the anonymous feature, turn it off. if it's not graded, or just you encourage everyone to share their thoughts, brainstorming, icebreaker. So there is no harm on that. If you would like to score your student, you turn it on, okay? Or you turn it off. I will keep it off for now. How do you want to see the new posts? They will be posted first or last? I want it to be first, to be updated with who did the homework, who wrote, who participated. So you are free to choose either to leave it organized, last, one by one, or the last person who will write, it will be the first person that you read his work. It depends on you, okay? The comments. Do I want to allow students to comment on posts? Of course, I really appreciate to have this interaction. The reaction of the students, I can click on that and I have multiple options. Either they like, they vote, they star, or they give a score, a grade. Why not? For now, I will leave it. Okay, off. Now we come to the safety setting, content filtering. So this is very important. If I would like to require approval, students will do their work, but they can't see their work unless the teacher approves that. So it's okay. Try to avoid, for example, someone who wrote something, I don't know. But since it is a safe environment only for students, I think I need to have their work, because sometimes I'm not ready all the time. I'm not free. So I'm afraid that I forget, okay, to check my students. They will be waiting for 2 or 3 days. So it's better to leave it off. Automatically, when they write, everything appears on the Padlet on time. So I think it's better if you are not really a very committed person. If you know that you are sitting in your desktop and it's okay from time to check, so you are free. If you want to filter the profanity, it means the bad words, etc., you will have emoji on them. Of course, we are dealing with the students, so I think there is no need. Unless if you want to share your Padlet in public, I recommend that you do that to keep the safety environment, okay? Content protection, if you want to allow other people to remake this Padlet, if you want it to be personal, no one will be allowed. So you turn it on, you turn it off, you are free. Domain, if it is business, etc. I finished, I click on next. Everything is set. He told me that I can start posting. So let's say I finished. I click on the button here, you see, on the plus button, which is turned into a pen. Very, very easy. I repeat, I go on the button of my page. I click on the plus button, which turns into a pen, and I click. Let's say 5 educators. And I come here, I write a paragraph. You see here, for example, sorry. Here I have my title. And in the second part, I write a paragraph. What is asked? What is the assignment? So introduce yourself and name your schools. So I finished with my writing, my first post. I have also a variety of options in here. Either I upload from my desktop anything, I take a photo if I am using a camera. For me, I don't have a camera on my PC, or I will show you. Link, copy paste any link. Image search. Let's say I want to search for an image. I can have it from the images, the GIF, the YouTube, Spotify, or the web. Let's say educators. And let me check what are the results. For example, let's choose this one, I don't know. So few seconds, it will be uploaded and everything is set. I finished, so now I can change, of course, the back color. Okay, purple, blue, depends on your choices. I finished and I published my first post on the Padlet. Let me check. So I repeat, everything is set. So this is the assignment. I can add a comment and anyone else can interact with me. So similarly, I will try to share this one with you. So here we have different options. Let me show you. the details of your Padlet, to show and export as PDF, to add bookmark, to remake the setting. I click on that. I come back to the first page. You see our setting earlier. I come back to the three dots. To change the format, this is very important. I click on that, and I can, meanwhile, I'm still working on my Padlet. If I am not really satisfied, I can change it. Let's check if we have a map. I think the work will be erased. I'm not certain. Yes, so the work will be erased, you see. So let's come back to the first part. I think we've lost it, so it's okay. Let's say, so here I am using the map. I will show you how to work on the map. Let me check first. Who's in the waiting room? I think everyone is here. So I go back to the setting, and I want here, for example, as I said here, you change the format, you clear the post, etc. I have it on here. I still have it on here. So I will come back to the first format. It's easier for you to understand. So we have the wall. And I will share the link later on. I will show you the map, how you work on the map format. So I come back here to the share option and take a look here. My privacy is set on secret. Okay, I want to change it. So I go to change privacy. So here visitors can write. I click on that. So either I have it private, keep the Padlet hidden from the public. Even if someone manages to get to, they should not be able to access it. Or you need a password, keep the Padlet hidden from the public. If I choose to share it with someone, they should require password to access it. Or secret, like it is now, keep the Padlet hidden from the public. If I choose to share it with someone, they should be able to access it. Let's say I want it to be public. I click on that. And I come back to the most important part. What can visitors do? So here the permission setting. They can write, or they can read. It means they can view posts, but they cannot add posts or edit or approve others' posts. They can't modify anything in my Padlet, okay? Especially for students, if you need them, if you want to give them more access, okay, more interaction, so they can write, so they can edit, okay? So you choose the third option. The second one, they can write only, okay? The first one, they cannot respond, they cannot interact, they read simply, okay? The second one, they can write, they still interact, but they do not have a huge, if you want, accessibility here. Or the third one, they can edit, they can add, delete, approve. Let's say I want you all to edit my Padlet, and I save. Do not forget, because if you don't click the save button, everything is lost. So save your privacy, okay, setting. Next, I have copy link to clipboard to get the QR code, to embed it if I have a school blog or website, to email it for someone, to share on Facebook, on Twitter, it depends. To save as image, okay, so here I want to send you the link so that you can simply introduce yourselves. You can use images, GIF, anything that it comes to your mind. So please let me know if you are able to access the Padlet. Someone said you have a question. Yes, please, Mr. or Miss, you can raise your hand or you can type in the chat. Waiting for you. So I will activate your mic. Yes, please. You can activate your mic. The floor is yours. Yes.
Hello, it's Miss Ahd. Okay,
Miss
so my
Ahmed.
question, thank you. My question was about Wakelet, so we're way past it, so it's all right. Maybe I'll save it for later.
No, it's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. No problem.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go
Well,
ahead. Yes.
okay, thanks. It was about the classroom, about adding your own classroom on Wakelet. So I was
Yes.
wondering how can you add your students into the list, or do they have to have an account on Wakelet as well, or how is it done exactly?
Okay, simply you go to Google Classroom. You open a Google Classroom, you create an account with your specific details, your students, and later on you export, okay, your account. It will be automatically done into the Wakelet platform. So first of all, you should have a Google Classroom account in which you add your students. It's a separate platform, okay, in which you can assign homework, exams, score them, send them via email. So it's a totally different platform, but it will be integrated as a built-on later into the Wakelet. If you want later on, I will send you the link how to create your Google Classroom, Ms. Ahad.
That would be wonderful.
Okay,
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Okay, so this was a question about Wakelet. So I come back to my Padlet. I've already sent the link to you, so I will wait a few seconds. Try to share, do not be shy, try to write anything, okay? And meanwhile, I will create a second Padlet in which we will have a map, same work, okay? So I come back to my Padlet. This one is already saved, it's done, it's kept, you see? So I can add bookmark, copy link, make it in the archive or delete. Let's say I want to make a new Padlet. I click on that. I'd like to take the map feature, the map layout. Similarly, I will have the same steps to choose, to change the title, the icon, the appearance, the font, the attribution, the safety, etc. So let's say I will write the same, the title, introduce yourself. Okay, so teachers introduce themselves and name their schools. Similarly, I can use any icon I'd like to have. I come back. This style of the map here, it's not really a great option, but I think that's okay. You can choose from these one. They are not really very attractive, but I think it's okay. Let's try to choose the most beautiful one. Let's say this one, and I have the map already. Okay, attribution. If I want to display the name, no, I will leave it anonymous. So just to check if you are following. Comments, you can write comments to each other. You can react to each other. Okay. Approval, no, I need to see everything that you are typing. I click, of course, I save. Okay, next. And everything is set in motion. Let's say now I want to introduce myself. So I click on the plus icon, you see. But what do you remark here? The options are a little bit different since it is a map. So either I choose by location or I drag and drop here the pin. I'm not very accurate in that. I don't know where my state is, so I will just write in here. Write my state. And I will be taken automatically to the place. You see, if I want to introduce myself, for example, I am an EFL teacher. If I want to have an image, to upload an image from my desktop, I click on that, or I don't know, anything. And everything will be set in just a few seconds. Of course, you can add anything else. And I publish. And you have it, you see? So this is my location. You can zoom in, zoom out. So this is our map, Tunisia. And similarly, each one of you will do the same. So you will click on the plus button. You add your location, okay, or you just drag and drop if you are good at geography. So let me first send the link to you and check. It's secret. Let's change the privacy to make it public. Anyone can edit. I finished. I save, of course, before I forget. I come back. I copy the link. I come back here, and it is already in the chat box. So give it a try, please. Few extra seconds before we finish this session. Try to introduce yourselves and let's see how does it look on our map. So I click on that and I have the state of the teacher and the name of the school. I can edit it, by the way. Yeah? Let's say I forget to write something I want to modify. I simply go to the three dots, okay, or the edit word. I click on that and I'd like to precise the name of my school. For example, I type in the name of my school and I update. You see, I update my post and it is already in here. So I will wait a few seconds for you, okay, to add your location in the map. Try to take part in that to check if it is clear. It is. Okay. At the same time, if you have any questions, any clarification, go ahead. The floor is yours. We almost finished with this session. So waiting for you. If you have anything in mind, we will wait a few extra seconds so that hopefully you will add, you will post. Okay. Let me check again the chat box. Okay, let me refresh the page then, Miss Ahad. Let me check. Very good. So I click on here and one of our colleague is from Grombelia. Nice to meet you then, Ms. Ahad. So you see, so it's very fun. Students can also use that in a variety of lessons. As I said, for example, in the fourth graders, we are talking about celebrations, festivals. So it was very fun, very exciting. They do some research. They even copy paste links. For example, here, I click on the three dots. You see, you can open the post, open post in new tab, copy link to post. I can connect to another post, for example. So you have a variety of options. Let's see. So I think it's very fun to use it with your students. For me personally, I will stop the recording if you do not have any other feedback. Still waiting after the recording few extra seconds for any volunteer to post. It was a pleasure having you. I hope everything was clear today. And see you tomorrow, inshallah, in the fourth session, which will be about a very exciting topic, which is the digital storytelling. We will focus on two platforms, which are my favorite, super easy, super fun, Story Jumper and Book Creator. So see you tomorrow.